It's hurricane season in Florida. We all know that flashlights and bottled water are key, but here are some other tips you probably didn't think of. Hurricane season is from June 1st to November 30th. That's half the year. We do benefit from the fact that, unlike a tornado or an earthquake, when a hurricane is coming, we have some notice, so we have time to prep and make a plan. Batteries, flashlights, water, non-perishable food. You know the drill. But have you ever thought about photos? Before the storm, take photos. Not just a street view, but the entire house, both inside and out. And I'm not just talking bedrooms. I'm talking in closets, opening drawers, and cabinets. If the unthinkable happens during the storm and you're dealing with damage or, in the worst case, total destruction, you're going to be dealing with insurance. And they are going to want an inventory of your house. So detailed photos are really going to help. Another one is medication. If you or any members of your family, including pets, take a prescribed medication, make sure you stock up on that. Because if you either have to evacuate or stay in place in your house for a while, you want to make sure that you don't run out of those essentials. Water. Yes, it's an obvious one, but this particular tip is one of my favorites. What happens the moment that they announce a hurricane is coming? Everyone floods, pun intended, the grocery store and buys all the bottled water. Then people who didn't get to the store in time start freaking out because all the stores are out of water and they can't find it to buy anywhere. Now, I know this might be hard to hear, but did you know that you can drink water from the tap? Go home, find containers, fill them with water. Voila! You have drinking water on reserve. The key is to make sure that you do this before the storm, because if something does happen to the water, you'll need to have had it reserved prior to the contamination. And here's how you go one step further. This tip is from my mama, and she's a genius. Freeze some of those containers of water. I like to wash out and use gallon milk jugs. If I lose power during the storm, they are going to become block ice that's going to help keep my food cold longer. And if the storm is really bad and you're out of power for several days or weeks, that ice is going to defrost, and guess what? You can drink that water. Also, another pro tip for your freezer is to freeze a Tupperware of water. When it becomes ice, take the lid off and put a penny on top, and then put the lid back on. If you lose power, especially if you have to evacuate, when you come back, you're going to know how long the power was out. Because if you look at that container and the penny is still on top, the freezer never got hot enough for the ice to melt. However, if power goes off and then comes back on, and you look at that container and the penny is on the bottom or midway, you know power was off long enough for that ice to defrost and that penny to sink, so it's probably a good indicator that the food inside of it's gotta go. So these are some of the lesser known yet favorite tips from a Florida local and her mom. Do you have a hurricane tip that's genius? Because I know I'd love to hear it, and so would everybody else. Because as we come into the height of hurricane season, if you are new to Florida and haven't dealt with hurricanes, it can be a really scary thing, but I've got you covered. If you need to know your prep list or what to expect when you're in Gainesville during hurricane season, I got you. I'm Lindsey Johnson, your resource for all things real estate. See you next time.